Hello everyone and welcome back to Neopets, the Darkest Faerie. Last time we saved Marketown, so this time we're going to be beginning to do a whole lot of side quests revolving around Marketown. Starting with an old friend, Prince Torin. Apparently he's found his way here instead of going straight to Brightvale? Okay, great. Oh, I think she's doing the face. Okay, let's get a face going. Let's. Oh God. Oh no. I wasn't expecting that when I was gonna go into her face. Oh, I found an even worse one. It's animated too because he's moving. Oh, I thought I was done with faces, but I'm not. Oh, I'm sorry. This is terrifying. I'm not even reading what's on the screen. So the reason why he's actually here is because King Hagen and his family is not actually accepting his proposal because he has to prove his royal lineage. There is a book that is actually proves that, but it's in his family crypts, which are in the Brightvale Cemetery. This might sound familiar to all three of you who's actually paying attention and remember from a long time ago when we actually visited it. So what we just got from him is the Rathbone Crypt Key. The Rathbone family crypts are related to him, and now we have the means in order to get past that locked door back in the cemetery. Hiya. Of course he's not going to go do it himself because he's all prim and proper and doesn't want to get a bruise on his nice and princely figure. So that's one of the side quests that we are definitely going to be doing in the near future. Most of this video is going to be collecting a whole lot of side quests and then going about actually looking around Marketown because now that it's free, there's a bunch we can do here. So, last time we also mentioned that the Guildmaster made us honorary members so that we can now do assignments from the guild members. Assignments being delivery boy or delivery girl. The first one being that we have a package to deliver to Sophie, the Swamp Witch. Other than that, when it comes to talking with the locals in Marketown, most of them have very obvious things to say when you're looking at a rich kind of community based around shopping and capitalism. But then there's this person right here who is looking for a very specific person to talk to, namely Roberta. We're marking on an interesting path she is taking, and how Tor is just kind of tagging along. This is also another one of the rare Mirkas. This makes the 5th one that we've seen. Apparently it's going to be a whole lot in order to actually live here. I would expect that the rent is very high. And don't mind our little tornado Termac right over there. Yeah, he's just going to be doing that. We're going to be picking him up soon enough. So most of the townspeople are either going to be pointing Roberta to the curio shop or potions. And in terms of Tor, they're going to be pointing him into the armories or weapons or food as well. Knight's going to eat. Well, I've already bought all I need to do in order to get around here. Especially when it comes to actually going into the shops where they were incredibly rude when they were corrupted. Coming into the store like this and they have nothing to sell just kind of says a lot of different things when it comes to their actual dialogue. It's like, I'm really, really sorry, and craftsmanship takes time. That's why I don't have anything to sell you right now. I do want that sword. It's really, really huge. Unfortunately, there's no novelty kind of swords that you're able to get for Tor. Kind of wish that there was. I also find when it comes to between Tor and Roberta, that Roberta is treated a lot nicer and more courteously than Tor is. It's just like, oh, my lady, if you're interested in this, then you may go in that direction. Whereas Tor is like, if you need an armorer, you go over there. Apparently you don't sell anything, though, even though you're in the middle of the square. The square actually doesn't sell anything, which is a little bit weird. Especially when it comes to where the grocer or the food store is. I'm looking to take people's money and make myself rich. Yes, he is worth the cost. 4 times the cost. Sometimes the names are really cool, like Iron Scale. Except he doesn't really say a whole lot. He's pretty generic. If you can't find it here, it's probably not worth buying. All the things to say. Hi, I guard the door. If you don't want to go outside, go the other way. I'm sure you weren't able to do anything brew-wise. And then you're able to buy Kavara's potions and Fiora's potions for a respectable amount. And see the alchemist burn himself alive because he's just standing in the fire. Good lord, man. Come on, get out of there. Now there is one special guy that we're able to talk to in Market Town, who, if you're talking to as Tor, mentions his son Grayson. Yeah, this is apparently Grayson's dad, of all places. It's kind of weird that Grayson mentions Bogshot, though, because there's no one in Bogshot who even mentions Grayson. And then we turn around and go, oh, his dad's a lord of all places. Of course that's how Grayson became a squire. Higher standing and whatnot. Roberta, though, it's not as interesting as talking with Tor. So, with that in mind, let's actually take a look at the stores that I didn't really actually go into, or buy anything for that matter, because the weapons and armor are completely sold out. I can now go into the curio shop and, oh, she's right behind the counter. Well, I'll buy everything from you and then I'll talk to you, because now the prices are a lot more reasonable. Get a health extension, magic extension, makes her pretty even, and then we get some treasure chests, or treasure maps, 2 treasure chests, hooray. Hello. You're shorter than I thought you were. Especially when you can't see over the table. But yeah, they even play it off as, like, yeah, she's a kid. And has her own store. Oh god, she does a laugh too. Oh, that's where it went. Great. Yeah, I want out of this place as fast as possible. Let's get out of here. Now, I didn't actually point this out when I went here last time, but when it comes to the grocers here, you would think that they'd actually be outside and using the tables around here, but no, they're actually in this door right over here. It's strange, to be honest, but I guess when there's 2 people that you have to talk to and have to control where they are, I guess putting them in a room is a little bit better. Well, at least she's looking for flowers and not to destroy them. And none of these are really good for me to really buy. But Josh here does have a quest for us. Since Nina is really talking about getting some pink posies, Josh is going to tell us, yeah, maybe you should get her some pink posies. We have to go to the steps in order to get them. Don't make that noise ever again. Please. Now, there's one other guy that we're able to talk to in Market Town, and he's all the way up there, up on the balcony. How are we possibly able to actually go and talk to him all the way up there? Well, there is this alleyway that doesn't really lead to anything other than a ladder. It gives us access to jumping around some of the rooftops of Market Town, but I'm a little disappointed by how limited you actually are, because there's the zip lines and whatnot. But in order to get to him, you just have to do a jump like so, and you're able to talk to our wonderful friend here, Monty. Monty is our next map merchant. He doesn't have a whole lot of maps, but just enough for the treasure chests that we're actually missing, which is always really good. Of course I am.
Hey! Huh?
Some of them have little stories. He also calls them memories, which are also kind of cool to me. Sometimes I wonder if he's overinflating the stories, but oh well. Thought they based it on an old legend. What that legend is, I'm not entirely sure. Especially when it comes to what map it's actually connected to. But yeah, he only sells you 3 maps, so in the end we have 6 additional maps in order to find the treasure chest for. It's not that hard in order to actually get any of the maps, it's just travel time at this point. So yeah, there's the final one for the Brightvale Coast, there's one for the Black Keep as well, so that means that we're able to get that second treasure, which is apparently outside of the map, but it's actually on the border there. The 4th Shadow Glen treasure, the last of the Step Plateau, and the last 2 Wereloop Woods treasures as well. The one for the woods and one for the sinkhole. So we're able to actually get things filled out. You'll also notice that I have 3 out of 4 sinkhole treasures now, when I had 2 when I left. I have to say that actually is a mystery to me. I think it has to do with one of the treasures that I picked up elsewhere. And apparently that treasure was tied to that list, even though it shouldn't have been. I guess more coding errors. So, in terms of connecting ourselves back to the Black Keep, there's 2 things that we need to do here now. One is get that treasure, and the other one is figure out where that door goes. So, when it comes to the treasure, first things first is we're going to make another jump through the outside walls and into this small little area with the bushes here. Always want more of this stuff, but that's where our glitter is. Just on the outside of the borders. More money! Hooray! Money to make up for buying all those maps. Now we can head back to the Black Keep, which also still has a mist over it. It's just lighter and gray instead of purple, but I really wish that it didn't have it, because I really wish it was like blue sky, because that's what you see everywhere else, and it just frustrates me a whole lot. So, where does this door go to? Because apparently it doesn't want to connect to the Black Keep as we know it, and up above the Black Knight. Instead, it connects to the Black Keep dungeon right below everything. And that's where 4 of the treasures that we picked up last video connect to. So there's 7 more that we need to pick up here. This is also known as a trap dungeon. It fits into that category as well, because once you jump into this hole, you can't get out until you finish it. And this dungeon is one of my least favorites. Let's just say that. It actually prepares you for something that's going to be happening very soon into the game. I'm talking maybe about, I guess I would say 2 videos after this is what it's going to be actually getting ourselves prepared for, because this dungeon involves controlling water levels. With that switch back there with the blue light, you can either make it shallow, or you can make it rise to make it super deep, so that if you fall into it, you actually get a game over. So you have to put yourself into a perilous situation in order to continue through this dungeon. And I can't believe that this is actually happening. And I'm not kidding, it actually makes you game over. So if you did not save early on or at the beginning of the dungeon, which I didn't, just get prepared to maybe be a little bit angry at yourself. When it comes to the Black Keep dungeon, there is the standard enemies, and to be honest, other than the general layout of just being separate compartments in a relative circular pattern, more like a hexagon, octagon pattern, there really isn't much to say when it comes to this dungeon. All you're really doing is controlling whether or not the water is low or high, and then eventually making your way into each compartment in order to find either the way forward or another lever that connects to a corresponding gate, whether it be yellow, green, or red, opening those up, and then ultimately finding your way out, collecting the treasures along the way. Once you really know how to get through this dungeon, it's actually surprisingly short. Minus all the backtracking you kind of need to do. If I were to describe the general movement of the dungeon, I would say you kind of move in a pendulum, where you kind of go to the right chambers and then to the left chambers and then back to the right chambers and so forth. Nothing's really out of sight either when it comes to finding anything. Just referring back to the map is good enough in order to find your way around, because you're just looking for little pockets and gaps in wall lines in order to find where you can go further and where you can't. It also makes this dungeon a little bit more linear than I would like. And this is one treasure chest that I sometimes always miss when it comes to one of these chambers, because it's found into this little crevice here when the water is down on the right-hand side. The easiest one to find, of course, is the moat chest. Making sure that I have the correct moat equipped, though, is a completely different story. Well, at least that's a good chunk of change. I think that's the best amount of money that I actually get out of this place. Yeah, that chunk of change is not really all that great. And there should be the last treasure chest that I need to get, and then we can make our way towards actually getting to the exit. You see, the exit is actually connected to the middle of the dungeon, but there's only one way in order to access it, which is from the top chamber. The only thing is that the top chamber needs to have its water down, so you need to do some backtracking in order to actually shut the water off in order to get access to it. But once you do that, it's just a straight shot in order to get out. And none of the enemies are really that much of a threat when it comes to weapon loadout and whatever moat you're actually going to be using. I'm not even properly elementally aligned, and I'm still doing incredible amounts of damage, because I'm just using rock moats. Now, there's our wonderful little buddy here. It's actually the second Termac that we're actually able to get. He's going to be our friend for a good long while when it comes to doing the rest of the side quests. I'm at least going to try and keep him around for as long as I can in that regard. Wasn't successful the first time, I know. But I'll do my best. And then it's all about just using a ladder in order to get out. Except that's a little weird. That you just kind of go through a black void. A paper-thin void. I have to go through the second dimension in order to get out. But with that, that's pretty much the Black Keep dungeon in a nutshell. Not too inspiring, but it's good for getting a few little treasures out of the way. So next time, we're going to be continuing our side quest adventures and seeing what other places we can go. See you next time, everyone.